You ever just have those videos that you, for whatever reason, like to watch and rewatch enough times to count on two hands every single year? You don't? Well, why not? For me, one of those videos is this pop music retrospective video that covers the last decade in popular music in a retrospective, made by a white guy with brown hair and glasses. Look, Mom, another one! Mike the Snare is a cool guy. He likes Shrek.
Ogres are like onions, and humans are like water. Onion water.
And he likes music, in that order. He discusses and reviews discographies of individual artists and groups while also covering broad topics about the music industry and culture. He is also very funny and edits good, and he likes to do research for his videos even though he's not getting a letter grade for them, so that's neat. If I was walking down the street with Mike the Snare and we saw a snake 50 feet away, I would run up to the snake and then let it bite me so that it wouldn't be infecting Mike the Snare with any of the venom. And because he deserves to be alive so that he can make more videos. Good job, Mike the Snare. Is your first name Mike? I don't think it is. I think it's something like John. One of my hopes for this series is to be able to shout out some cool videos and people on YouTube, and this is the first example of that. Link in the desk. One of those topics is the ever-shifting music industry throughout specific decades, like the 2010s. Now, one of my biggest fascinations, dare I say, Roman empires, is learning about modern history and how certain events create these watershed moments that affect pop culture. I'm the kind of guy that looks at 9/11 and asks, alright, so how did we get from there to Skibidi Toilet? I have a soft spot for the time period of 2009 to 2014, and honestly any pre-COVID year after 2014 as well at this point, so I always welcome any opportunity for someone to regurgitate facts about events that I lived through that I already know about. Mike the Snare compiled some of what he considers the most influential music, be it an album, song, or I think it's just those two things. And he explains his reasoning for things like how Lana Del Rey paved the way for Billie Eilish, or how Migos made it cool to write an entire song with just one word. Look, I don't want to get up on my soapbox or anything, but if Elvis Presley was still around, he wouldn't care for this stuff, and he was the king of pop. This is a well-made and rewatchable video that also doubles as a, quote, Gen Z nostalgia trip, if that just so happens to apply. Much like how movies and TV shows from a nostalgic part of your childhood can be enhanced if you're the kind of person who gets unreasonably excited when you see the characters playing Wii Sports on screen. Definitely go watch it. There's a higher chance that you've already seen my 2010s nostalgia bait, so go watch someone who did a good job this time.
We're like the only species that doesn't have to fear being eaten.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy actually? I just realized this. Being eaten...
Unless you're Matt's mom.
And you eat her good, from what I've heard. She's told me.
She calls you up.
She goes, God, he ate my pussy like a fucking monster. Like the fucking Cookie Monster. My pussy was a whole bunch of chocolate chip cookies.
I make those noises too because she loves it so much.
She told me that she loves it. So
she'll put chocolate, she'll crush a chocolate chip cookie and open her.
She'll stuff it up in her pussy, right?
Her pussy hole,
right?
And sprinkle it in. I fucking hate this conversation.
Did you guys hear about how the new CEO of YouTube wants YouTubers to win Emmy Awards? Hard agree with that. I'll never get tired of people telling me to follow my dreams because I will never not need to hear it. I'll never forget when I had my big viral video blow up for about a week, and when I met the requirements to join the YouTube Partner Program, and when I tried to verify the information on this tax form I had to fill out with my dad, and I made a sly remark like, guess I'm a YouTube employee now, and he was like, yeah. Hey, speaking of, summer's coming up. Have you looked for jobs yet? What? 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 I can't blame my dad for the way that he thinks, because after all, he's a Gen X farm boy turned white-collar worker bee on his Sigma grind, but I don't think he ever took my YouTube channel nearly as seriously as I wish he would. A definite low point in my life was when I was working weekends and sometimes 7-day work weeks at my high school job while my channel was picking up traction. I finally achieved a bucket list item of mine, but I wasn't really able to go beyond the milestone because I was juggling high school junk, and nowadays I'm constantly worrying in the back of my mind that my channel's been blacklisted by YouTube or something because my sub and view counts don't match up, and I wonder if my chances have run out. Then again, maybe the less eyes on this stuff. Video game donkey, more like video thief donkey.
What?
Video game donkey, more like video thief donkey.
I don't know what that means.
Thanks for your time.
Those guys look like Mormons.
The better. Regardless, I'm never gonna stop trying to find an audience and do this bullcrap for a living, whether I finally accomplish that with this grading YouTube video series or some other idea in the next decade or 2 or 3 or 4 or 20. Am I using the word decade right? And videos like this one are a nice reminder that if making and posting YouTube videos makes me happy, I should do it. Even against all odds. It might sound petty, but I'm gonna do what Jake Paul couldn't do and be the first YouTuber to be a self-made billionaire just to spite my dad. And then I'm gonna burn all the money Joker style, cause I'm a cool, based guy like that. 10 years ago, Hollywood executives put Fred and the Annoying Orange in their own shows and randomly put Dax Flame in all of the movies that I wish I could have been in instead. I don't know if being a special guest on a Smiling Friends episode like
Doug Walker Nostalgia Critic
is an evolution of that phenomenon, but it might be a mutation, maybe? This clip's really funny, but I also have this rule in place where if I grade a re-uploaded clip from a different original work, I'm gonna knock a letter grade. This is still really funny, and I'm glad that it's easily accessible, though. At the time of me writing this, I'm at work with nothing to do, and I got another recommendation from YouTube for one of these Hive Mind videos. With nothing else better to do, I finally took the plunge, and oh baby, do I not regret doing that. I don't know how these guys did it, but in less than 2 years, they've earned a huge following just by covering evergreen pop culture topics. Not even just movies or just music, they cover it all.
It might have something to do with how they have a primary channel that is not this channel. Hive Mind and Hive Mind Unlimited are two different things. Hopefully somebody else didn't know that either. Also, I forgot to name the hosts by name. They go by Pim and Charlie.
They have this series called How Did It Age? Where they watch all the comedy films from 15 to 20 years ago that are also in my Blu-ray collection and say things like, so I know Will Ferrell called that doctor a and that wouldn't fly today, but like... It's still a good time. Are you freaking kidding me with this bullcrap? Oh my gosh.
I mean, I still wouldn't say it though.
If you want to listen to a 50-minute long affirmation that your favorite movies of the late 2000s are still fun to watch, check these out. And I'm citing the Step Brothers video in particular for this funny out of context clip that should hopefully entice you if you're not already convinced.
I want somebody to push me down a flight of stairs so I can understand how to fix my car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?